Okay, this is the first lesson of beginner's wheel class. We're gonna start with 1.5 pounds of clay and just pound it into a ball. Plop it down in the middle, give it 2 hits, and then wet it. So we wet it by wetting our hands, and then put your hands on there and get a good slip build up. And then we're going to cone, so we have it sealed down here by pressing into it tight onto the wheel head. We have a skirt right here formed where it's sealed to the bat so it doesn't fly off the wheel. Okay, so now press in towards the center on the opposite sides, and the clay is just going to naturally come up. And then press down on the top and in on the front, and this front hand is being pushed by your body because your elbow is locked into your side, and as you lean forward it pushes into the piece just right here, and these fingers just kind of rest and press on the outside of the clay here. So press down, this right hand goes on the top when you're pressing down. And then we go back to the side to cone up, pressing in towards the center, and then press down, in and down on the top and in the front. And you know it's centered because you can just rest your hand on it and it doesn't wiggle at all. So we've gotten rid of all the wiggles. Now we're going to open it, drop a hole down the center by putting our left thumb right here in the middle. Find the center with your thumb and put your sponge on top and just press straight down with that sponge. And then once you get about 1/2 inch thickness on the bottom, start pulling it towards you, pressing into the clay and pull it out towards you, and then smooth out the bottom with your sponge and your thumb. Now we're going to press these sides in a little bit so they're not just sticking all out like that. So bring it back in, and then we're ready to pull a wall. So this inside hand, the middle finger is right at the base, and the outside hand, the middle finger pressing through the sponge right at the base of this piece. And they pinch the clay together as you pull that all the way up to the top. I've slowed the speed of the wheel down now that I'm doing the pulls so that we can stay in control of this clay a little bit. So I'm going to wet this. I'm not going to dump a ton of water on here. I want to keep this all this work area here fairly dry, so I don't end up with a big pool of water down here in my splash pan. So make sure the inside walls are wet though with your sponge and with the outside. And let's do another pull. We press in from the outside with that middle finger at the base, and then this outside finger, and then you just pull that pinch of clay all the way to the top, and then gently just come off the top. Easy peasy, right? Clean up the rim, press the sponge in on the top real gently, and then again wet the inside, wet the outside. We're not dumping water all over here though, because we don't want a big pool of water in our splash pan. So let's do one more pull. Once you get really good at this and get the hang of it, you should be able to have all your pulls done in 2 or 3 pulls, and you'll have all the height you need out of it after just 2 or 3 pulls. So we're going to press out from the inside and then press underneath that. Pull it all the way up and gently just come off the top. And there's a cup. For the purposes of our first class though, I'm going to have you pull this until you wreck it. We don't want to try to save anything for our first class, because all we're going to be doing is working on our skills and just getting these skills down. Some people get it really quickly, and by the second class they're ready to start saving things that they make. But if you can just pull it until you wreck it, so you start to understand how the clay feels and what mistakes are going to be happening. And the way we learn is by making mistakes. So let's just make those mistakes happen. I'm just going to pull it until I wreck it. Let's give it another pull. And there it goes. And that's going to be our first class. After you practice these skills for a little while, we're going to come back and do another demonstration where I'll go through these steps again and take more time and explain them a little bit further detail.